Welcome to Corner of the Galaxy, the show that talks 100% LA Galaxy soccer. We're glad you could join us. Now it's time to sit back and relax as your hosts navigate through the twisting, turning, but never boring world of the five-time MLS Cup champion, LA Galaxy.
Hello, everybody. Welcome to Corner of the Galaxy on cornerofthegalaxy.com. I'm your host, Josh Guesman. Joining me, he's back for getting the band back together one more time, Mr. Jared DuBois. Glad to have him back for this show as well. A lot to talk about. Obviously, the Zlatan rumors will not go away, nor should they. And so we'll be talking a lot about that. I'm sure that'll be the main focus of this live show on a Thursday night. February 1st, that's right, we're already into February, and that means that it can't be too long until the LA Galaxy actually make their way back onto the pitch for the LA Galaxy's 2018 season. As a matter of fact, as I look at it now, only 31 days until the LA Galaxy face off against the Portland Timbers on March 4th. So a lot of fun stuff to talk about. Let's bring back the man. I know you're all waiting for him. Nobody's here to listen to the show to me today. Everybody's here for Jared. Jared, how's it going, buddy?
Kids are behind a closed door, so I'm a happy man.
I was gonna. You have to start that over again because I forgot to unmute you. It's one of the.
My God!
I know.
This is how you treat an icon?
Yes, an icon. Yes, this is how I treat an icon. I mute you.
No,
yes.
I was saying my wine glass is full. The kids are behind a closed door. I'm a happy man right now.
Well, there's worse things in the world, that's for sure. So I'm glad you could join us a little bit. I always like to do this. I know you don't get to be on the show as much as you would like. But you get sort of an outsider's perspective because you're not sitting here talking with me every week. So what have you thought so far of the LA Galaxy and their offseason in 2018?
I think they've nailed the offseason, to be honest with you. I mean, up until the point they're about to trip over the last hurdle, in my opinion.
Okay.
I think they've done a fantastic job of addressing the needs. Well, here's the thing. There's a lot of question marks. I don't know for a fact that they've addressed the defensive needs. They may have. They've made a lot of moves in that area. They've brought people in that look like they're the right people to fill the positions that they needed. They've brought a lot of experience over. So I'll say positionally, it looks like they've taken care of business in the back, but I don't know for sure until you see the guys play, see the combinations, see the chemistry. The back line is a lot of communication. When those polls aren't quite right and you got a few different languages back there, we'll have to see how that works out. But I would say the front seven, the Galaxy's done a fantastic job of nailing this in the offseason. I'm a really big fan of most of the decisions that they've made so far. This is a team that's ready to compete again in 2018. Are they going to necessarily dominate? No, I don't think so. But I think you're not going to get a repeat of 2017 this year.
Yeah, and that's sort of the main point here is that things have been corrected at least to the point where the Galaxy, as you say, compete. And if you're competing in this league, this is a question, and my good friend Chris Tucker asked me this question, and I thought it was a good sort of example of where your mindset is looking at this team. But if you look at the Galaxy, are they a playoff contender?
Every team in MLS is a playoff contender. There's not one team you can point out in the entire league right now and say they're not a playoff contender. There's too many teams make the playoffs, and MLS is way too fickle. Because at the beginning of the season last year, you and I weren't like high on the Galaxy, but you could have called them a playoff contender last season.
Yeah.
You'd be lying to yourself, and you'd be using way too much hindsight to say otherwise.
Yeah, no, you're right, and that is sort of the point of everything is that listen, the Galaxy right now should be better than they were last year, just even on paper. Now, granted, I've seen teams on paper win MLS Cup championships before the season has started, so I'm not exactly jumping up and down and ready to go. But it's...
I don't think this is that league anymore. I think there was a time where you could look at the league across the board, the depth of each team, and single out 3 teams or so that really had the ability to run away with the whole thing, and you would be probably, I don't know, 66% accurate in that. This is not that league anymore. This league has a lot. It's always had parity, but it's parity at a higher level now, where it literally is splitting straws or splitting hairs at some points to figure out who the best team in the league is. Is it Atlanta? Maybe. Is it Toronto? It's theirs to lose, until proven otherwise. But how many teams have you seen go from first to worst and worst to first in MLS? It's just that type of league.
Right.
So, I mean, anyone that's drawing conclusions about October right now, they're lying to you.
Yeah, well, of course, and or they're at least enjoying the fruits of the offseason where everybody seems to be equal at the start of the season, right? I mean, hope
It's
springs
great, man.
eternal.
When you're the Philadelphia Union fan, you love March because the world is your oyster. Maybe this is the year we don't suck.
Yeah, I know. There's always
Sorry,
hope.
No offense to Chris Pontius.
Yeah, no, I think he's happy that he's back in Los Angeles, so I don't think he's gonna.
Should we be concerned though that one of our top signings this offseason is a guy that was on DC United like 3 years ago?
I mean, Perry
DC United was that great 3 years ago.
Perry Kitchen, Chris Pontius. You have some DC United roots there. I think everybody thought that Siggy was going to fill the roster with ex-Seattle players, right? But I don't think that we've seen that. So
I'm surprised Brad Evans isn't in a jersey.
You know what? I am still surprised. I said it in the offseason before everything had really gotten spooled up. I go, don't be surprised if Brad Evans is in a Galaxy jersey whenever this year starts, but he's not. So I think you can sort of say that Siggy and Dom have picked wisely from around the league. I mean, you got a San Jose Earthquake like David Bingham. You have a former Seattle guy, Orlando City guy like Servando Carrasco. DC United with Perry Kitchen or Chris Pontius. Philadelphia Union, DC United. Ola Kamara now coming from Columbus. They've gone around and cherry picked the league, I think, actually pretty nicely.
They've done a very good job of this, and I obviously. People will draw conclusions about what they want to blame last season on. In the end, are you pointing the finger at any one person for last season?
I mean, I can if you really want me to.
I don't want you to. I want you to be honest. Like, do you point the finger at one person, 3 people? Like, what to you are the top 2 contributors to the devastation that was last season?
Yeah, I could say Pete Vianis is high on my list of people who it was, and possibly Jovan Karofsky.
Okay.
So
one of those positions is solved. One of those things is
kind of. Not really. That's not really. Pete Vianis is still very much involved in the decision-making.
He's not pulling the trigger on these deals.
He is not pulling the trigger. He does not have final say, and I do believe that Siggy has overruled him multiple times already this offseason.
I think there's a lot of maybe fans that have come to LA in the last, let's say, 9 years or so that are just crucifying Pete Vianis. And listen, rightfully so in a number of decisions that were made last year, but I'm old enough and a long-time Galaxy fan enough to know that I respect Pete Vianis. He did a lot for this club on the field, and I stand by the club's decision to not just get rid of the guy wholeheartedly. He's a part of this history, and he cares about this team. Did he make some mistakes? Yeah, a ton of them. He did not perform right in that position, but I think it's important. I mean, I equate it to, man, what's the right way to say this? You've got a brother that you grew up with your whole life.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
And he does something wrong in your family. Mm-hmm. You can choose to cut him out the family if you want, but really, maybe you just are more metered with how much you let him in.
Right.
But you don't want to throw away something you invested your whole life in. And that's what Pete Vianis is. He's LA Soccer. Whether you like it or not, pass back Pete is part of this legacy. So I don't want him to be going off somewhere else. I do want him to be in the fold somewhere because I think he deserves it as almost like a Lifetime Achievement Award. That being said, he needs to bring the results for wherever he's at and whatever he's doing. And last season he didn't, so they were right to move him. But I'm not done with Pete Vianis like some people might be.
I was going to say, I think there are a lot of people who disagree. That's fine. I understand your perspective.
But here's the thing I would have to say to those people. One bad year in something he's never done before, and that's part of the problem.
Right.
Is worth you throwing away a lifetime of dedication to the team you say you love. You say till I die. You say these things about this club when you're sitting in your fan section and when you have your scarf above your head. But when it really comes down to it, you're going to throw away a piece of Galaxy history like it's trash when he has bled and sweat for this team. I don't agree with that.
Yeah, here's the problem is that people did one person for sure got held accountable last year, and I'm not sure it was 100, and I know it wasn't 100% his fault. So if you're going to fire somebody whose fault it wasn't, but you let the guy whose main job it was to construct a roster, that's sort of where I have the problem. If you're going to hold one person,
it's the easy move, dude.
It was the easy move, but that doesn't necessarily make me feel better about what the Galaxy in the front office did, which they took the easy way out.
Was at that stage of the season, and we're treating this like a memoriam on 2017. So I apologize.
Right. No,
a lot of things I probably haven't said since we've been on the show last time. The Kurt Onalfo move is the best thing you can do to change as little as possible and still try to salvage face.
Right.
You know,
Right.
okay, the new coach who has a track record of being the short-term coach places, right? Kansas City, DC, done a fantastic job as a third-rung coach at the LA Galaxy. That's the easy move.
Yeah.
Pete Vianis is the tough move because for all the reasons I just gave you before this.
Right.
Now, the real problem is they hired a guy that had no history of doing that job.
Yes.
Loving LA Galaxy isn't enough.
Nope.
You really got and here's the problem. LA in some ways is chasing Doug Hamilton's ghost.
Yes.
Doug Hamilton was a fantastic GM, really good at sourcing players and talent. And then Bruce Arena took over, and he did a fantastic job as well. But he wasn't just a true GM. LA is chasing that, and I think they need to go back to a true GM, but it needs to be something more like Garth Lagerwey, who really kind of knows what he's doing up in Seattle and in the past Real Salt Lake. I don't know if the GM coach thing is going to work for every coach we have coming through here. Ziggy knows a lot, and he's done a good job this season, but I don't know if that is a mold we need to keep going with in the future.
Yeah, it is. It is seems to be definitely a trend in the league to make sure you have a dedicated general manager. And maybe Siggy transitions into that with Dominic Kinnear also being an assistant coach there.
You got to respect these two guys.
They are. I'll tell you, Dominic Kinnear is one of my favorite people in the league
He's
overall.
For sound bites.
He's great for sound bites. But he's just honest and joyful about being a soccer coach most of the time, which is always fun.
And I think you're seeing a more casual Dominic Kinnear being in the assistant coach role.
Oh, yeah.
And I think it almost suits him in some ways.
Well, he gets to be the positive guy. Siggy gets to yell, and Dom gets to be the, hey, you know what? You're okay. You're okay. Keep your head up. Keep going. Let's go. Work harder.
I'll tell you why I like Dom Kinnear. I've always been a fan of Dom Kinnear's defenses.
Yes.
I mean, Wade Barrett coming up through him. I mean, if you go back to Craig Wable, I mean, he had fantastic defenses, and he really had good structured, dedicated, communicative defenses. And if you think about it, he never did it with any stars back there.
Yeah.
He did a fantastic job of finding good talent and making them play well together. And I think that's important with a team like LA, because if you're LA, where do you want your money spent? In the flash. Right? The flashy, glitzy players, the ones who are going to score. That means you're not going to have as much money to spend in those other areas, and you've got to find those gems and make them work. And I think that's where Dom Kinnear can really help this team.
Well, I mean, I think he's already helped in terms of bringing in David Bingham. You talk about defense, and Bingham.
I like David Bingham, dude.
I think it's a good signing.
I think he got a bad run in San Jose. I remember being impressed with him consistently, watching him play. Granted, maybe he just fell out of favor or something like that, but I think that's a good sign. And here's the thing. I also think, in terms of people who got a bad run of it,
yes,
you're not going to like this.
Yes.
I think
you can say it. We're in a safe space here. Hardly anybody listens.
Rowe got a little bit of a hard deal here.
But you think Brian Rowe got screwed a little bit? You can say it.
I think Brian Rowe many times was a victim of a poor 5 men in front of him.
Absolutely.
And I think he took the hit for that. I never thought that he was a star goalkeeper in this league, but I think he's a starting goalkeeper in this league. I really do. I don't think he was a bad goalkeeper most of the time. I think he was put in really horrible. Unlike Clement Diop, who was horrible in places where it was his fault.
Right.
His fault. He can make fantastic saves, and I think when he's calm and not under as much pressure, he's probably a better goalkeeper. And I think the nerves get to him. But in just my opinion by watching him. But Brian Rowe, I think, is a consistently good keeper in this league, and he could be a number 1 or number 2 at some lower level club than LA. LA has too much focus and has to win every year. And I don't think, first of all, I think the defense let him down greatly. Being in and out of the starting lineup, I think, hurt him as well. I think he's a serviceable keeper. Yeah. But Bingham is an upgrade 100%.
Yeah, he is, and I think a lot of people were hoping that the Galaxy would get Ousted, who I really like as well. But this is the way it went. I think David Bingham is going to be a really good upgrade there. You have Brian Silvestri as sort of backup, and I kind of like him too. Just his size alone just gets me kind of excited. Just how big the wingspan is.
Very Zach Thornton-ish. Yeah. Oh, you probably don't do. Do you know who Zach Thornton is?
Yeah, Zach. Yes. Yes,
back in the day, so the Chicago Fire had this keeper named Zach Thornton, and he looked like Karl Malone in the net. I mean, he was huge, right? And what I used to love is people that have been around MLS for a long time will remember at the All-Star game they used to do a skills challenge. And Zach Thornton, they had this one event, and I don't know what to call this as an event. They literally had people take penalty shots to see how hard mile per hour, and Zach Thornton would step up as the keeper. They have all these guys taking it, and Zach Thornton steps up as a keeper and just demolishes the ball. It's almost like he's gonna hit the skin off the ball, you know?
Right.
He was amazing with that. And listen, I don't know what it means in the grand scheme of talent, but he had this measure, and he was amazing with it. I always was a fan of watching Zach Thornton, and a big guy can save. I mean, you don't all have. Not everyone has to be like Bill Hamid and be like a athletic greyhound, man. That guy is built fantastically for the position. There's Sean Johnson is a very different keeper than Bill Hamid. He's built differently and doesn't make him wrong. But there's just a reminder that they come in all sizes, you know, and you don't see that as much anymore as you did back in the day. But I really I enjoy the big boys.
Yeah, it's going to be fun to watch. All right, let's get to let's get to a little bit of some of the stuff that I wanted to cover here. I'm not trying to swish you off things. I just want to move some things along here.
Whatever, traffic director.
Yeah, I know. It's my job. Let's see.
It's fun.
LA Galaxy weekly schedule. Let's just go over this real quick. Obviously, the LA Galaxy are in Tucson. They're training. I think they're training 2-3 times a day. If you've seen any of the interviews that have gone over and some of the guys there, everybody seems like they're getting along. This is a time for everybody to, wear name tags, tell everybody what their favorite color is. They sit around the campfire and talk to each other. This is for a team that doesn't know each other, Jared, with so many new faces on it. This was probably a good decision by Siggy Schmidt to go away and trap everybody together. And that means you drive to the training fields together. That means you hang out in the hotel rooms whenever when you're not training together. You grab dinner together, you grab lunch together, you are together for a whole week and a half, 2 weeks, however long they're there, and that's a good thing.
It worked for the first Pitch Perfect movie. I mean, they took all those girls and took them away to acapella camp, and look at that chemistry.
It just blossomed right there. That's exactly right,
dude. I mean, when they do the remix at the end, you believe it.
You believe it's amazing. It's wonderful. So you're right. I mean, if it works for Anna Kendrick, it can work for anybody.
Becca, man, like who's our Becca?
I have no idea. Who is our Becca?
Who's our fat Amy?
Man,
you don't want to answer that.
I was gonna say, but I mean, the problem is that Amy was so good that you want somebody to be, fat Amy. But anyway,
she does that mermaid dance on the ground, and Boateng kicks the ground a lot. Maybe that's our fat Amy.
Maybe that's a weird visual, but yes. Anyway,
fat Amy is Tiny Emma.
The LA Galaxy will play Real Salt Lake on Saturday, February 3rd in Tucson at 3:30 p.m. I imagine that there might be a stream of that. I have not been aware of any stream, but keep your eyes open on Saturday, February 3rd, 3:30 p.m. Pacific time. That is when the Galaxy will play Real Salt Lake, sort of their first preseason game of the preseason. So keep an eye on that. And then, of course, the Galaxy don't stay there for very long on Monday. Literally on Monday, when we have our next show, Kevin and I will be recording. The LA Galaxy will be returning to Los Angeles that Monday. So all of that, hey, kumbaya, we're learning how to sing together. Stuff is going to come back, and the Galaxy will be back in Los Angeles. And then it starts the preseason games here at StubHub Center. February 10th is the first game against New York City FC at StubHub Center. That is the preseason. It's one of the
first years in a long time I may watch preseason. I think there's actually something to learn this year because it's just so many unknowns. I feel like you almost kind of have to watch it. But I word of caution for people who out there are going to really take nothing from this. Take nothing from the results. All you want to do is look at individual players and look at 1-2 combinations. Like, are you seeing give and goes? Like, that's the stuff you want to see. Are you seeing overlaps? Are you seeing the back line pull together? Take very little stock in anything else. You're just looking for chemistry at this point. If you're seeing chemistry, you should be happy.
Yeah, and I agree with that. Yeah, you just want to see anything that sort of can look like it. And if it doesn't look good, that's okay too. I mean, first game, you're likely to get the guys playing 45 minutes. So you get one group 45 minutes, another group 45 minutes. That's going to be it. You're not going to see a whole bunch of, starting. And with Siggy Schmidt, you may not even see a starting group in that. They may just play 45 minutes and 45 minutes, although I would expect that one of those groups is the starting lineup, and we can sort of keep an eye on that. Just a quick heads up, the Spectrum Sportsnet and Spectrum Deportes, of course, will be the broadcasters of the Galaxy games again in 2018. Chris McGee, Clint Mathis, Dan Kennedy, and Kelly Tennant will be returning to give you all of your non-nationally televised games.
I love me some Clint Mathis.
I know you're a big Cletus fan.
I remember reading an interview one time where he was just talking about how he just didn't drink water. He hated water. And it just explains so much about him as a player.
I was going to say tequila was more his style, you would think.
I don't know if he said that. It's just like he didn't enjoy drinking water. And there was just a point in his career where he just started doing it. and making himself do it. I remember I listen, unless I'm making this up, I remember the interview, I think, where he was saying, like, as a professional athlete, yeah, I just don't enjoy water.
That's a good soundbite. I'm gonna have to put all my money behind Dan Kennedy as being one of the smartest and best looking.
The most handsome, but come on, dude.
Come on, Dan
Clint
Kennedy.
Mathis is the real deal.
Clint Mathis is likely to say something crazy and then fall off his desk chair. Dan Kennedy is going to give you the the analysis.
My chair.
He's going to give you the analysis. He's going to be locked in, and he's going to look at you with those steely eyes whenever he's doing it. So
handsome man, dude.
We have some good guys there, and then Joe Tutino, Kobe Jones, of course, going back to the play-by-play group as well. So I mean, I just wanted to point that out, just in case you were wondering. Whenever the schedule gets released, a lot of times they don't show that the broadcaster is going to be Spectrum, and the reason for that is because Spectrum paid a whole bunch of money so they get their own press release. That's basically why they do that. So, and it's interesting, Jared, I don't know if you've been following along with LAFC and their television deal.
The YouTube TV deal.
The YouTube TV deal, which I think is a mixed bag for me, but I think it's interesting.
I don't understand too much about what they chose to do there, because is that the internet rights, or because the internet rights usually are pretty held tightly by MLS as a league. It's usually negotiated like all together as a league,
right?
And but it's YouTube TV, which I know that property, and it's technically their version of TV. We can get local channels and stuff like that.
Right.
So it's an interesting hybrid thing, and I'm not sure what to make of that.
It is all internet. It is basically they're going to have to pay $35 a month if they want to watch their team, at least in English. It looks like KMEX is possibly going to do Spanish over-the-air broadcasting.
How many of their games are going to be nationally broadcast? It's got to be one of the top 3 in the league this year.
I think they have 16 nationally televised games overall.
That's half the season.
Yeah.
So I mean, if you're ever going to try a deal like this is the year to do it.
I think it's probably the future, because I'll tell you right now, the LA Galaxy aren't getting another $5.5 million a year television deal after this one's over with. That's not happening. So, whether or not it's expensive for them, I don't really care. It is what it is. But I just think it's interesting to see them lean that direction and go that direction. Not only that, but it is a shirt sponsor deal as well. So they got shirt sponsor and television, TV, internet rights, basically from YouTube TV. So.
Got that Google money, baby.
That's a good thing. Let's see. One other thing that I wanted to get off of the news before we dive into Mr. Zlatan Ibrahimovic is the LA Galaxy will face off against Fresno FC in Santa Barbara during the 2018 preseason as well. USL side Fresno FC on February 15th, 7:30 p.m. at Harder Stadium in Santa Barbara. Tickets for youths are $10. General admission $15. Those increase by $5 each on game day. You can get your tickets at x-oversoccer.com. Again, February 15th, 7:30 p.m. if you want to make the drive up to Santa Barbara to see that game. And I think they tried to do something like this 2 years ago where they tried to play in Santa Barbara and it got completely and totally wiped out by rain. So maybe that won't happen this time. That'll be nice.
Yeah, listen, if you're up in Santa Barbara, let me make a wine recommendation for you. Hit Car Winery, fantastic Cab Franc.
There we go.
You heard it right here first, baby.
I missed you for your wine suggestions, of course.
I thought about doing, if the U.S. made the World Cup, I was thinking like maybe I should do like every U.S. player as a wine. Like what's their type? Like what's the wine that speaks to that player?
Oh, wow. We just missed out on that one, huh? All right. Well, next time the U.S. are in the World Cup, we look forward to that particular article, podcast. How are you going to put that out? Multimedia
I don't know.
adventure?
I don't really think of specifics. You know this. I pretty much just wing most of the things I do. I'm a fantastic fly by the seat of my pants kind of guy. That's why I don't wear underwear.
Yeah. Of course.
I want to be ready for anything.
I understand. Jonathan Dos Santos and Giovanni Dos Santos got their first action of the preseason in a 1-0 win for the Mexican national team. Giovanni Dos Santos had the armband, and this, of course, was after Juan Carlos Osorio was saying how amazingly in shape Giovanni Dos Santos was headed into this. From all accounts, Giovanni Dos Santos did not impress in his 45 minutes, and in fact, the team probably got a little bit better.
Oh, he's in shape? I'm so excited.
Well,
is there a way to measure his interest?
I don't know. You think they could do like eye tracking to sort of be like, is his eyes? You know how they have the warning now for cars that if like you're sleepy, it's like, hey, pull over, pull off to the side of the road. Maybe they need that for Gio when he's playing. Hey, pull over to the side. You're falling asleep on the field.
Oh my God! Someone make that kid pop some Ritalin or something.
So Gio apparently didn't impress. Jonathan Dos Santos had the only assist on the only goal, but came off.
How is Jonathan not the one getting paid $5 million by the Galaxy?
Everybody doesn't know that.
That's the real talent.
That is, and I think everybody sort of agrees with that. I have high hopes for Gio this year because I think he has to perform, otherwise he will not be with the team anymore. So I would hope.
I'm trying to figure out what his role is going to be, though. But we can get into that a little bit later.
Yeah.
Is he a playmaker? You have Leggett on the one side and Alessandrini on the other side.
Right.
Is he a false nine? Kamara, is he truly a target forward? Like, what's their combination between those two players? I don't really know. But I'm excited to see it, though.
Yeah. No, I think, and all the articles, of course, that I read about this game were sort of saying that Osorio was also trying to figure out sort of a play to place Gio. It's the same conundrum everybody's always had. Where do you play Gio? How do you play Gio? Is he a number 10? He's not a number 10. Is he an all-out striker? He's not a striker. Is he a playmaker of any sort? Yeah, on occasion.
It's kind of the same problem Donovan had to a certain extent, but
Right.
I think Donovan was better at being 90% at every position.
Right. Yeah, I mean, and maybe that's... See, but Donovan was able to eventually figure out where he fit into a team, and maybe it was that, people figured out how to play him, but at the same time, the Gio so far has not had that sort of comfort level with any coach, and this goes across, some of the most talented coaches ever and biggest teams ever. Where do you play Gio? How do you make him succeed? That's going to be the biggest question, and if they can do it, if you can get Gio succeeding, Jared, now you're talking. Now you're playing with fire. This Galaxy team could be really good.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. I just don't know what the magic sauce is. I really
Nobody
don't know.
does.
What gets $5 million doesn't get him interested. Having his brother on the team doesn't get him interested. Being the guy who's on his shoulders doesn't get him interested. I don't know what gets this guy passionate. I don't see it. I don't know if I've ever seen him really passionate.
I saw him that he lives off of one goal a lot of times. The one goal against the U.S. men's national team, I think in the Gold Cup, that whole dribble around. That was
the Rose Bowl. Yeah.
Yeah. That was the passion. That was the talent. I mean, I will.
No, that guy got a $5 million contract 6 years later on that.
On that goal. I know. Yeah. I get it. It makes 100%.
That and having a picture of him in a Barca kit.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean,
sorry, I'm bitter about that signing. By the way,
I can tell.
I'm not a fan.
I can tell. It's okay. Let's get to Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Just hold on. Let me get through the newsy part, and then you can go.
Did you say nosy?
No, I said newsy. Newsy part.
Excuse me.
Yeah, like newsies. The newsy part, which is that if you have read the report that said Zlatan signed a contract 3 weeks ago, and you believe it, hit yourself in the head with something. All right? It's not true. He has not signed yet. I would let you know if I did think that. Now, this is what we know so far. He has not signed with the LA Galaxy. We know the LA Galaxy have interest. We heard Ibra's agent say that, of course, he's in talks to come to MLS. We know these two things. They're not a surprise. This has all happened before. However, there are rumors, and I think fairly considerable rumors, at least ones that I'm starting to lean towards, that say that Zlatan Ibrahimovic has given a verbal commitment to the LA Galaxy and that contracts could possibly be working their way towards him to sign. All right, this is again. That's a rumor, unconfirmed.
Are you excited yet?
No, I won't get excited. I mean, technically speaking, I won't get excited until they make the official announcement. I don't care if they tell me off the record.
So you're on Team Zlatan then?
I am on Team Zlatan. So I mean, this is and we can get into this.
It's freaking Kool-Aid, dude.
Why do you think it's Kool-Aid?
Okay, I have a lot to say on this. It is not going to be a popular opinion
at
all. Trust me, I've gotten filleted this week. I know. Not filleted, filleted, yeah.
Yes.
And I have been filleted this week because, first of all, I had a dissenting opinion on this, and then Twitter decided to pick up my tweet as part of their Twitter moments.
Oh, yes.
So when you click on the Twitter moment for Zlatan coming to LA, you see me in there saying about how I'm not a fan of it, right?
Right.
So I get every guy, which I'm sure they're Trump voters, coming out there tell me how we're going to make Galaxy great again. And how this guy is the way to do it. And it's like almost like they're not playing with logic. Could he be fantastic for LA? For sure.
Okay.
Is he one of the best players to ever play the game? For sure.
Yes.
Did he score 20-some goals for Manchester United last year and look fantastic and look like he's 25 again? For sure.
Okay.
Did he have a terrible knee injury? For sure.
Yes, he
okay,
did.
And that's where it comes down to for me. In a season that was to be forgotten, you need to do something this season result-wise. And Could Zlatan be the key to bring home a championship this year? For sure. He could definitely do that. But I want to play the odds.
Okay.
And the odds to me tell me that a guy with a significant knee injury last season and then another kind of injury over the holiday break here, I'm worried about putting eggs in basket of a player like that because, first of all, it's totally MLS 2.0.
Okay.
It is the Beckham style where we bring AJ, and I'm tired of it. I'm tired of LA being the retirement home for people. I don't want another Steven Gerrard. Granted, this guy could be another Henry. I get it. I don't want to take that chance. Build me something natural. Build me something that is original. Build me something that is where MLS is going, not where it's been. Give me Kamara. I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Give me a bunch of guys like that are on their up and build something. Dare this team to build something. Don't dare them to borrow something and borrow something at a risk. Borrow something that is someone else's. Build something here. And that's where I'm kind of at with this, where he could be fantastic. And I would love to watch him, and he's going to be so much fun to have on the team, and I get all that. I want a team. I would rather a team be 4th place this year and not have Ibrahimovic and have the chance of 1st place or 7th place with him. I don't see what's the 5-year plan with this TAM money if you're spending it on this guy.
Well, I don't think you need a 5-year plan for TAM money for if you are spending it on Zlatan. It's $1.5 million. It's basically, just sort of a throwaway as it is. And I think it's a throwaway and a good. You said it, and this is where I'll sort of put my argument. Although, you know what, somebody is calling. We should at least try to maybe possibly.
Someone's going to tell me what's up.
Somebody's going to tell you that you're full of it again. 424. Who's this?
This is Chris. I just have a comment on the Zlatan topic.
Yes, Chris, go ahead.
If you go on Zlatan's Instagram right now, you will see that he is launching an underwear brand, which he currently has now.
Okay.
And he is launching a perfume brand fairly soon.
Yes.
I'm 100% sure this is the reason why Zlatan is coming to LA to increase.
You tell me this guy can't sell banana hammocks in Europe?
No, he's coming to LA to expand his brands. Let's face it, this is the biggest market
right
in America. This is where you do it. This is where you have the celebrity backing. So I think right now his priorities are going to be his brand.
But
soccer will
then he shouldn't be
like
here.
A secondary thing.
Well,
I think Gerrard, exactly. I'm thinking Gerrard again. Gerrard was a world-class player 4, 5, 6 years ago still. He came to LA. He was a shell of his former self. The injuries got to him. The age caught up to him. And he was, I'm sorry to say it, but Gerrard was trash. So, I'm expecting the same from Zlatan. Terrible injuries. He's in his late 30s, and he's coming with a focus in mind of expanding his brand. I don't know how to feel about that.
Awesome, Chris. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. All right, there goes
I should
Chris.
also say, I was on Team Zlatan last year. I was excited about him coming to the Galaxy last year before the injury. I wanted him to come because he looked amazing last season. And so I understand where people are coming from. I was on that team. But I'm coming off a last place season, and I don't think the answer to our problems is a former god with a bum knee.
Okay, here's my argument. Here's my counter. I won't take any phone calls during my counter.
And the guy's trying to spite me just by launching an underwear deal because he knows I go commando.
That's exactly. That's it. He's targeted you specifically. Here's my
argument. By the way, take more calls. I would love for you to take more calls.
I will.
I would love for you to. Don't do it on my account.
I will take more calls, and everybody can call in. But you guys got to give me a chance to at least get my side of this on it. I don't want Jared just to have all the fun. Here is my argument: is you said that you're happy with Kamara, right?
For sure.
All right. So am I. I think the Galaxy did a great job, and I was happy with what they did, regardless of whether or not they get Zlatan Ibrahimovic. Cool. No problems. So, having said that, he's 36 years old. You pointed that out. He's coming off a major knee injury. Pointed it out. He can't get a game with Manchester United. Absolutely true. He can't even get on the bench because he's injured. 100% true. He's coming to extend his brand. Gerrard was not coming to extend his brand. Gerrard didn't have a brand. Gerrard was just himself. But he's coming to extend his brand.
Sleeping pills, maybe.
Maybe that's how it works. Beckham came over to extend his brand. That's why Beckham was primarily coming to Major League Soccer. Everybody knew that. Okay, no problems. I don't have problems with this. Guys need to do their things. Everybody has their own sort of thing to do. Zlatan's thing is I think I'm a god. I speak in the third person. I have a perfume and underwear brand. I'm going to come over. I'm going to sell those things. And on occasion, I may play for the LA Galaxy. That sounds like a great deal for me. You know why? Because the LA Galaxy have a wonderful starting lineup right now.
So you're telling me what sounds good to you is an oft-injured 36-year-old with lack of focus and where his number one priority isn't the team. No, that's what sounds like a good deal to you.
No. What sounds like a good deal to me is that a dude who cannot start anymore, cannot play 34 games, cannot give you 70 minutes a game right now, is not going to be your starter. The Galaxy have a great starting lineup. I love it.
So you're going to bring this guy Zlatan over, and you're going to bench him.
I'm going to put him on the bench. That's what I'm going to do. Absolutely. And everybody's like,
think of the backlash from the fans who think this guy is our savior. I got people tweeting me, Josh, that say this guy could with half the games could break every scoring record MLS has. I have people legitimately saying that to me on Twitter without batting an eye.
Yeah, that's fine.
I don't think you realize how insane the average MLS fan or soccer fan who doesn't understand MLS is about this.
Oh, you think I don't understand? No, I think they're insane. I'm just going to give you a reasoned argument why signing Zlatan's a great thing. First of all,
you get to just throw away $1.5 million.
Well, I don't think you're going to throw it away. I think he's going to be. I could think he could be a really big impact player. You said you were not willing to take a chance on. You would rather finish fourth than possibly finishing first or seventh. That was your overall argument.
True.
I say.
I think this team needs that this season.
No. They're the LA Galaxy. They need to win an MLS Cup. That's the only thing that'll satisfy the fans. That's the only thing that they are expecting. And I get it. They were trash last year, and I watched every single game. Nobody has to tell me that. Okay, but for this team, they need to take a risk on somebody. This is their risk. I'm perfectly fine with the risk. This risk could mean they're a first-place team. This risk could mean that Zlatan comes off the bench, gives you 30 minutes, tears people apart in 30 minutes, or you spot start him. He can start every once in a while. He can't play 34 games. And anybody who's arguing and telling me that he is, you're an idiot.
So you're telling me that a guy with a God complex, we can both agree that he has that, right?
I think he used to. Yes. Continue.
Okay, let's just embrace history here and assume he's still the person he was for most of his career. You're telling me a guy with a God complex is going to come over here and be satisfied sitting the bench. You're going to tell me he's going to come over here and think that that's what he wants his brand to be. And how long before the guy with a track record of being outspoken is calling out this league and this team for not giving him what he should get as being Zlatan?
Is Zlatan a starter for Manchester United right now?
Well, he's injured, so he's not really anything. Last season he was, yes.
Last season he was for a while, and then he knew he wasn't going to be the starter this year.
But you don't think that the 12th man on the Premiership team doesn't think he's a starter in MLS?
Oh, well, I think he thinks that, all right? And that's fine, except that he can't even sit on the bench right now because he's injured. He knows that. He knows where his position is. See, here's the whole thing. You guys think that he's stupid because he's always this confident, braggadocious person, right? I mean, that's sort of been the argument for a very long time is that, Zlatan and the way that he does things, that's just, he's a god. He thinks that. You think that's not part of his brand or part of his act. You think that he doesn't understand that he's injured and that he can't play 90 minutes anymore and that talk about a guy with a god complex, could totally be a savior for the LA Galaxy coming off the bench and scoring goals.
I'm saying he cares enough about his brand that he doesn't want the last thing of his brand in his career being a bench warmer.
And so here's the thing is that his career can either be over or he can play a little bit longer. Those are really his choices. He could go somewhere else and also probably be a bench player because his body can't physically handle 90 minutes of soccer anymore. So if he wants to go back to Sweden and play, or if he wants to go somewhere else, have him go. I don't care. He could fill a very important, very crucial role for the LA Galaxy, which is to come off the bench.
Jersey sales.
And jersey sales. Absolutely. Why not? It's a great business move.
It feels so freaking fake.
Here we go. 323. Who's this?
Hey, Guesman, this is Bobby.
Hey, Bobby. What do you got, buddy?
I just want to say that I wholeheartedly agree with Josh on this.
Oh, look. See, I win, Jared. We're not taking any more calls after this.
Bobby knows nothing.
All right, Bobby. Go ahead. Continue. Sorry.
All right. Let me explain myself. Okay. So, you take Zlatan out of the equation, right? The team is basically what Jared has been asking for with, you build it, with these players,
Right.
And so far, I think the team has done a really great job as far as addressing the needs that they had last year, because I feel that it's much more experience all throughout the squad, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and now you're adding Zlatan to this, right? Probably the most recognized player aside from Messi and Ronaldo in the world today, right?
Right.
Because of his brand and where he's played. And I feel like it's just adding to a great off-season, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I feel that, his persona, his personality, or his ego will not let him come here and not leave without leaving a mark or a title, because he has been a proven winner everywhere he's gone, regardless of how his time was at that team.
Okay. All right. Well, I mean, but see, and I know you're agreeing with me here, but I mean, that leads me to think that he comes over and he can make a mark however he can make a mark. He wants to do something. He wants to do. So everybody who thinks that this guy has an ego that can't handle being on the bench, which he has already been on Manchester United this year, why do you think, I just, anyway, I'm going to let you go, Bobby. I have some other calls.
Before you go, just so you
go
know,
ahead.
you agreed with the guy who thinks boat shoes are a good idea, so that's on you.
Boat shoes are a wonderful idea, Bobby. Thanks for the call. I appreciate it. All right, there goes Bobby. This is the whole point for me, is that this is a great move if you use him in a way.
You got a guy with a bum knee come into a league plays a bunch of games on turf too.
He won't play on turf. This is, again, do you know, if you learn nothing from superstars who come over and play, and arguing that it's 2.0.
I did, and I'm done with it.
And you're arguing that it's 2.0. That's great. Go move to Atlanta.
I am not looking forward to when we need a win, and he's not in Portland, because he didn't make the trip because he wasn't going to play on turf anyway. We've seen guys do that.
Okay, great. So what you're saying is the Galaxy need Ibrahimovic to win games.
No, what I'm saying is that I need a player that is going to be team first, not brand first. And if he doesn't fit that bill, then I don't want him.
I think that he is going to come, and if he's going to choose to play, he has a competitive streak. He's going to play. I mean, he's going to want to play as hard as he can. He's going to want to win, Jared.
I'm saying in the end, while we're playing around with selling jerseys that say Ibrahimovic on the back or say Zlatan with a capital A and L and A in the middle of it,
right?
Toronto and Atlanta are building a dynasty, and we are not going to be able to compete.
Toronto's built around U.S. men's national team players who they're paying a ton of money for,
and
who came over from Europe.
They are
came over from Europe
earlier.
But came over from Europe, and then they have a great, really deep team.
Who's their aged superstar?
Josie Altidore. How old is he?
No, that is not an aged superstar. The guy couldn't even score at Hull.
Let's see. How old is Giovinco now? Wait, no, he's not a superstar because
that guy was sitting the bench in Italy.
He's Robbie Keane. That was the Robbie Keane whenever we got Robbie Keane.
What I'm saying is that these teams are doing it with either younger players or core players. They're not going back to 2007 and grabbing the big name guy for the short term win.
That's great.
I want LA to start looking long term.
That's
and
great.
This is not a long term looking deal.
No, it's not.
I'm showing this is a small penis contest with LAFC right now.
No. What this is an LA market trying to get a superstar in order to put butts in seats. You need wins.
Butts in seats?
No,
winning.
BS. That is such BS, and nobody has proven that. Nobody has proven that at all. No Los Angeles
sold out to HDC before Beckham was even there.
No. Who sold out the HDC beforehand?
Before Beckham was there?
Yeah,
we were the best attended team in the league.
Yeah, once or twice on occasion.
God,
it was not every single game.
This is where you're off, dude.
No, this is literally not how it works. In Los Angeles, you need to have stars. And as soon as the stars went away from LA, it didn't matter that the team was winning. They didn't sell seats. Right?
When was that?
After, even 2015. So Beckham goes away after 2014.
The first year we didn't have a legitimate star since Beckham got here.
Landon Donovan was there. Landon Donovan's not a legitimate star. Robbie Keane was there. Robbie Keane's not a legitimate star. It took Giovanni Dos Santos.
LA had the best attendance in the league before Beckham ever came. So I don't see that as being a difference. Or even they were averaging 24,000 instead of 25,000. Beckham's money doesn't justify 1,000 more people in the seats. They were the best attended team in the league before Beckham.
They may have been, but they weren't once you have other teams come in.
Got there.
Once you have other teams, LA teams need stars. You know that. Landon Donovan, Robbie Keane, David Beckham. Those were the big deals.
It's easier with them, yes.
Yes. What happened whenever you brought in Giovanni Dos Santos?
Did the Kings and Ducks win Stanley Cups and have good attendance without stars?
They had stars on their teams, absolutely. That's why the LA Kings had Wayne Gretzky brought in to LA whenever he came in.
Talking about the last championship.
Fine, talk about the last championship. Whenever they finally start winning in terms of, oh my God, this team might be good, they made those guys stars. That doesn't happen in soccer right now, and it's never happened in that.
Town. The LA responds to two things: bandwagon,
stars, and winning.
And if you know what, teams they will follow a winning team.
It will not happen in soccer. And it's never proven to happen in soccer.
It happened from 2002 to 2005.
When there was no competition.
Oh, my God, dude.
When there was no competition.
You never mentioned competition as being a prerequisite for attendance until just now.
I'm sorry. Yes, when there's nobody there, you have
people to the games. LA Galaxy was the most dominant team from 2002 to 2005, and it put butts in the seats.
Yeah, nobody sits in those seats anymore.
Those players were outside of the people that were going, but butts were in the seats because they knew they were bringing home trophies.
No, that's not how this works in Los Angeles, and it has never worked. 2015, 2016, 2017. Yes, those teams were not great. All right, but why didn't people show up in 2015?
They're all run together for me. I don't remember 2015 from 2016.
Yeah, because David Beckham wasn't there anymore. You had Robbie Keane and you had Landon Donovan. David Beckham leaves, and all of a sudden attendance drops.
So you're saying all of a sudden we went from 27,000 down to 15,000
27,000 down to about an average of 21 or 22? You sold out games all the time. Granted, I don't like how the league schedules games anymore. Obviously, they're faced more towards national television audience. That hurts attendance. All right? But you need stars. All right, and in Los Angeles, you need stars. Now, I love that the LA Galaxy, you're talking about long-term. Long-term, the LA Galaxy have a group in play right now that can have long-term success. That's what you like to see. There's longevity here, but it doesn't hurt to bring in one big name. The Galaxy already had a successful offseason. You bring in somebody like Zlatan Ibrahimovic on a whim, possibly with the targeted allocation money. All right, we're going to talk about that a little bit, but you do that, right? And now, yes, you're taking a chance. I understand taking a chance. You're rolling the dice, and I agree you're rolling the dice. And you may not have somebody who can play for you for 34 games or who can do anything like that. All right? But if he can be even half the player that I think they expect him to be, come off the bench, be a spot starter, be able to fill in when Giovanni Dos Santos is gone, when Jonathan Dos Santos are gone, you have something on this team that you didn't have before, and you have the jersey sales, and you have the national attention. That's a win. You have to make business deals sometimes.
I guess I just feel like I want this team to have a soul, and I think when we do things like this, it is soulless.
It's not soulless
if the new team in town do this.
It's not soulless if they win an MLS Cup,
Josh.
It's not. No. It's not soulless if they win an MLS Cup. See, and that's sort of the whole thing. I know we're getting lots of phone calls here. I will try to put some more. Keep calling. I will put some more in here. Let me see if I can bring this person on. Who's this?
Hi. Hello?
Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, this is Julio calling from Japan.
Julio's calling from Osaka, Japan, Jared. Just wanted to give you a heads up on that.
Arigato, Mr. Roboto.
What do you got, Julio?
I'm kind of like either or with Zlatan. I just wanted to bring up the point of, I remember when Ashley Cole was signing, he had a bunch of naysayers and he proved everybody wrong. So
I was one.
If the Galaxy signs Zlatan, I'm going to give him a chance and see how it works out. All right. Thank you.
All right, thanks, Julio.
100% raise my hand and tell you I was wrong about Ashley Cole. I was 100% not a fan of that signing, and I was wrong.
I liked the signing once I figured out how much money it was worth. This could be something that is similar.
I didn't think he was coming here for the right reasons based on his statements, but his play backed up my fears.
All right. 817, who's this?
Hey, what's up, Josh? It's Javi here in Texas.
Hey, Javi. We went from Japan to Texas now. We're worldwide. All right, what do you got, Javi?
You are worldwide. Hey, look, I have to side with you on the Zlatan thing. I think Zlatan is worth a lot to the Galaxy, even sitting on the bench. He's realistically, the guy has a phenomenal physical makeup. I mean, he has recovered from his injury faster than normal. And yeah, he had an unfortunate setback, but I mean, the guy is extremely motivated. It's all over his career. Everywhere he goes, he's a winner. He just is not one of those guys that you will ever need to ever count out. And it's part of the Galaxy fabric, man. I mean, Jorge Campos, the first year, we brought in Jorge Campos because he was a name.
That was pandering. You know that was pandering, Javi. So was Luis Hernandez.
Of course it was pandering. So was Giovanni Dos Santos.
And you know what? The team sucked with Luis Hernandez.
the team has sucked over the years, all right? But they have also had some
you know
really big
what we
stars.
did to get Luis Hernandez, Josh?
What?
You know what we did to get Luis Hernandez?
I don't remember.
We traded Clint Mathis. A 22-year-old Clint Mathis.
Right in his prime.
That is what I talk about when I'm talking about soulless. That we would give up a talent like that who was producing for LA back then. That he was a wanted player when they got rid of him. He was not an unknown factor. We would give up the future of the club to pander to a demographic. And that's what makes me feel like it's soulless. Build me something with soul, dude.
I said go move to Atlanta.
Who are we pandering to, Jared? There's no Swedes in LA.
Yeah.
No, you're pandering to an audience you think you're going to have by getting him. It is a short-term money grab. It's a cash grab. That's what I mean when I say it's pandering.
Not only is it short term.
It's
I agree
pandering
with
to
you.
Euro snobs, I'll tell you that.
And not only is it short, but it's pandering to the world. I mean, yeah, I like the demographic they're going after, Jared. You can't give them crap for that. They're pandering
What's
to
the
the
demographic
entire
they're going
world.
after?
The entire world. This is a world superstar.
I don't know, man. I think what you're going to see is you're going to have a bunch of people tune in and say, wow, the quality of this league sucks. And then you've gained nothing.
Maybe.
Because the people that are going to watch him are PR haters anyway. Trust me, I have heard from all of them this week on Twitter.
You have
people that do not watch. They're too good to watch MLS.
Right.
But they'll trash it.
Right, of course they will. I know how
because Zlatan's coming here.
You just have
they
too
have
many
no
Trumpers
knowledge of what goes on
following you,
here.
Jared.
What was that, Javi? Sorry.
You just got too many Trumpers following.
That's what it is. He probably took the whole. All right, Javi. Thanks for calling in, buddy.
Hey, thanks, guys.
All right, there goes Javi. All right, with the lines are. This is the world, Jared. I think I'm pretty accurate on my demographic here. It is the world that you're looking at, and I will take the world as a demographic every single time. And if Zlatan comes over and he doesn't perform, then it's hey.
Have you learned nothing from Trump's presidency? We can go this alone. America first.
I knew this would happen eventually. You have taken up the side of Donald Trump. That's all.
Oh,
that's
God,
all
I feel so dirty.
All right, let's see. So we've obviously argued a little bit about Zlatan. That's fine. Jared and I still like each other. It's not a big deal. You guys don't have to worry about it at all. Like borderline. We don't get to see each other that much, so it's fine. Let's see. Okay, wait, we got another one. I want to keep going here. Let's see. 949. Who's this?
Hey, Josh, it's David. What's going on, buddy?
Hey, David. What's up? What do you got?
Nothing much, man. Listen, you guys are talking about Zlatan. I think right now at this point, he's not going to come unless I think he thinks he's a starter. Because I think, I saw the documentary on Netflix about Zlatan, and it's a really good documentary. I think you guys should check it out. But he thinks he's the greatest thing to ever walk this planet. And with him coming to the LA Galaxy, if he's not a starter, then that's when he's going to complain in the locker room and make himself a cancer like Jermaine Jordan was last year.
Right.
So in that sense, I think he needs to come and he needs to be a starter. I get what you're saying about him being a great super sub, but at the same time, if you have an unhappy Zlatan on the bench, he's going to go in the press. He's going to be calling out Siggy Schmidt in the press.
Yeah.
He's going to be making a giant scene, and I think that's going to be the big problem about what you're saying about him being a super sub.
Yeah, he doesn't.
Prima donna, first lady on the stage.
Hey, thanks for the call. We appreciate it. I swear, so Skype updated, and they won't let me mute all of the calls anymore in terms of the music that's going on and all that fun stuff. So I just wanted to give everybody a heads up. That's why you're hearing some of the Skype calls coming through. 626, who's this?
What's up, Guesman?
What's happening, man? What do you got?
Big chillin'. First of all, I'm watching you on my iPad. And I saw you record my call. That's kind of disrespectful.
Oh man, I absolutely. You and 17 other people. I apologize. What? But you're on now. So.
It's okay. I forgive you.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
About Zlatan, he would be a great acquisition to the team.
Why?
Not only fame-wise,
Uh-huh.
but when he comes out here, he's not playing, you know what I mean, which is good. He should be coming off the bench as soon as he becomes 100%, because if they make him come on fast, he's going to get hurt, you know what I mean?
Yeah, because he's old and brittle.
But this
I
guy-
agree.
Yeah, this guy has the quality. Even he's 36 and old, he'll still walk all over any defender in the MLS.
Here we go. He's going to break every record, right?
He will. Nah, I'm not talking about records.
Right.
You know what's going to
He's gonna
happen?
make
This is
his
what's really going to
presence
happen,
feel known.
dude. Bobby
gonna be
Berlin
the
is
asking
going to
forward.
kneecap him.
Bobby Burling is going to kneecap.
Huh?
No, I mean, he could. We were saying what could really happen is, Bobby Burling's going to take him out. I mean, Jared, listen, I get it. I don't even disagree with either side. If you want to say that you don't want Zlatan, that's fine. I think you're an idiot. I think that if you have a chance to get him, you get him. And
Yeah, why not, right? Y'all want to win or y'all want to lose? I'm trying to eat, and he's going to score. And there's another one.
Yeah.
Let's just say we do get Zlatan. How many free kick takers do we have now with adding him on the team?
Let's see. I guess he would be the one, because I'm trying to think.
No, 'cause
Who else?
Alessandrini's a good free kick taker.
He's okay. Gio's taken some too. Jonathan can take them. You're talking about guys who practice them all the time. Those are probably your three.
But it makes our chances better to score, right?
I agree.
And at
Not
end of
for the
day,
first
we need
60
goals to
minutes.
win.
Not for the first.
It doesn't matter.
Listen.
We-
It's. Hey, I appreciate the call. I'm gonna let you go. You got anything else you want to close out?
Love you.
Thank you. Love you too. All right, there we go. Here's the thing, and I said it, and I will say it again, and you can all, just roll your eyes however much you want to roll it, is that Zlatan should come here, and he should be a rich man's Alan Gordon, and then that's a good role for him. And if he doesn't want that
Oh
role...
my God, just how I'm sure his brand always wanted to be made.
I said it, I do it on purpose. This is a purposeful jab at people
Somehow
who don't
it's
understand.
Alan Gordon with a bigger nose.
Just better feet.
Better mustache, too, let's be honest.
Well, Alan Gordon had only one thing going for him. I'm not sure what that one thing is, but it was one
A
thing.
huge thing in his pants, I bet.
That could very well be it. But
You know that dude's hung.
Why? Why would I know that?
Dude, you could just tell. Well, first of all, you're in the locker room. You probably know better than me. But I'm just saying, that looks like the type of dude.
that just sort of is sneaky about it?
Oh, there's not much up top, but ton down below.
I understand. Anyway, so back to Zlatan. You make the deal. You make the deal because you need to make the deal. You make the deal because this is the gamble that you want to make in 2017. It's not long term. It doesn't have to last. And here's the deal. Right now, we know that targeted allocation money is probably going to be used in this. In fact, I was told specifically by a source that that's how it was going to work, targeted allocation money. There is a rumor out there right now that the LA Galaxy may be possibly looking at a rule change in order to bring Zlatan in. No, it's not a fourth designated player, but they are looking at possibly buying down Roman Alessandrini. This is something I told you that is impossible to do. It's impossible because...
Here's the difference. Here's the analogy I'm going to use right now for where we're at. You want a one-night stand. I want a relationship. Here's the thing about a one-night stand. It could be the best sex of your life, or you could end up with the herps. So... take your chances, Josh, but I'm trying to find that long-term girl.
You can try to be long-term, but long-term doesn't necessarily win you a championship, especially not in Major League Soccer.
Oh, you haven't been in my marriage, my friend.
Major League Soccer...
now my girl has to listen to it just so I know she knows I said that.
No. You're going to... Just listen to this part right here.
Yeah, just fast forward through all the parts where I talked about me being commando.
Major League Soccer is not a league that allows you to build a dynasty. All right, you may get 1 or 2 or 3 years tops.
That is what a dynasty is in sports, dude.
No, but that doesn't even mean. Look at Toronto. They're talking about Toronto being a dynasty. They won 1 MLS Cup.
Give me an example of a dynasty in sports.
The LA Galaxy.
American sports.
The LA Galaxy. How about that?
Okay, from what year to what year?
2011 to 2014.
3 years, just what you just said.
4 years, technically.
It's a sport. It's a sport.
It's a sports thing. It's a sports thing. It's 4 years. But they got extremely lucky with that in order to be able to pull that off in Major League.
Lucky. Come on, Josh. You and I are both there. That team was fantastic.
2012 was luck. 2012 was luck. That team got hot at the right time. They were a very good team, but they were horrible through that entire year.
I will say that was the first 2 months of what ended up being 4 great years. So granted, they happened to start at that point, but that talent was there already.
So this is what I'm saying is that the Galaxy already have it, and I'll even lean on you with this, that the Galaxy have a long-term base built right now. They could go 2 or 3 years with the lineup they have. Nobody's extremely old. Nobody's extremely young. They will be old after 3 years, but you would imagine they're going to refresh some of those pieces as they go along.
Listen, I just want to keep us from getting like Swedish herpes. That's all I'm saying. Okay, yes. So like, listen, I just want to use protection, and maybe you just want to go like bareback. But I'll let you do what you want to do. But you know you're rolling the dice with this one.
But if you get Swedish herpes and lift an MLS Cup, it's probably worth the penicillin. It itches, but it's probably worth the penicillin. That's what I'm saying.
Man, you don't know how to. You know, there's no cure for that, right? You've never. You're so innocent.
That's right. I am. Let's move on. Anyway, but the rule changed. So the whole buying down Alessandrini is that max TAM is $1.5 million in terms of a contract that you can buy down. The Galaxy are possibly looking at getting that to be $2 million. So if that happens, they could buy Alessandrini down, and then they could designate a player, Zlatan Ibrahimovic. But I'm being told that's not necessarily how it's going to go. It's very fluid in terms of how that goes back and forth. It kind of doesn't matter in most terms as long as the Galaxy stay intact with Zlatan Ibrahimovic. If they had to get rid of somebody like Alessandrini, by the way, I want to be very clear on this. If the Galaxy have to get rid of anybody besides Siani in order to get Zlatan, I'm not doing it. You don't get rid of Ima. You did a good job this year. Your lineup is good.
Boateng is extra.
I was okay with trading him. I understood why they needed to. I told you last
season, when I was on, Emma Boateng or GLC Zardes had to go, and they made the right call. It was wasn't sure if you were going to be able to move GLC Zardes. To be honest with you, Emma Boateng I thought had more upside.
Right.
Well, trade value. I should say that, not upside. Trade value. So I was pleased to see. I was not pleased to see $400,000 went out too, which is the reason why you could not start. Zlatan because you spend $400,000 of your money to get Kamara in here. He's got to play.
I'm under the impression that Zlatan's coming off the bench. I don't care what anybody thinks. That's the best place for him. So that I'm fine with it. Kamara starts. He is the starter. He's gonna need a starter. I'm great. And by the way, there's people in the chat room who said that I would get Swedish herpes if that's what it took to get Zlatan. Just letting you know. So I'm glad we could make that something. Rubio Rubin, who we had talked about.
Where'd you get that at? Like an IKEA bedroom?
Dude, the guy who started IKEA died. Did you hear that?
Way to bring it down, Josh. I knew that. I wasn't going to say it. We're already talking about STDs. You don't talk about death.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to go all dark there. But
you think his coffin has like 20 different pieces you have to put together before you can sit in it?
Do you know why he started IKEA? Do you know?
He wanted to frustrate every man in America.
He wanted to make us feel like complete idiots. He saw somebody trying to move something, and they took the legs off of like a dresser, and he was like, "Oh, well, I bet we could just make furniture that would be flat, and that would make sense." So then that was the start of the torture device known as IKEA.
A perfect example of a man that chose to build something.
Rubio Rubin signs with the Jolos. That's what we're being told right now. This was a guy who was possibly on the LA Galaxy's radar. He was.
What's our position anyway? For what's our allocation position?
Two. Actually, it should be one. I think Orlando's going to take Orlando traded with Dallas. Dallas had the first. Orlando took the first. Dallas takes whatever Orlando's was, like 7th or something like that. Was Rubio
Rubin even a allocation worthy player?
Yeah, he was.
Played for the national team as recently as a couple weeks ago. But,
yeah, he was.
But it wasn't consistent in any way.
Yeah, he was. So he was an allocation player. It was an idea that came about. Anyway, it looks like he went to Liga MX instead of coming to Major League Soccer. A little bit of a twist there.
There's no guarantee of starting here, and not that he guarantees in Cholos, but I think it's a good idea. It's probably a good place for him to land.
People are finally realizing that the picture of you that I have up here is not a picture of you, so that's always good.
Do you still have? What did we use back in the day?
River Phoenix.
River Phoenix. That's so right.
Yes.
Yeah, it's close enough.
Close enough. Exactly.
Yeah,
Spitting image.
I hang out the Viper room a lot. So.
Spitting image. Absolutely. So there we go. If you're listening to this on the podcast and you're not seeing it on the live show, you're missing out. You need to go to the live show at least once or twice and enjoy the other 3 or 4 people who are in the chat room. No, there's a whole bunch of people there. I like to be, of course, a Debbie Downer on this. Let's see. Is there anything else you want?
Yeah.
What else?
Before we wrap or anything like that,
yes.
Before we get towards the end, I want to say how much I love the Perry Kitchen signing. I really feel like that was one of the signings that really brought this team together for me when I saw it on paper.
It's a smart signing.
I feel like that's something we really needed was that stopper.
It's a smart signing. I like it. There was nobody
allowed Jonathan Santos to do something he couldn't do last year, be a true two-way player.
Well, and that's sort of the whole idea is that the Galaxy had no defensive midfielder. Now they have two.
They had Jermaine Jones, which was, for like you said, no defensive midfield player.
Yeah, it wasn't his. Granted, it was a position he could play, but it certainly wasn't somebody you needed in the locker room. So adios.
But he was also a striker. He was also a center back. What the hell was that?
No, nobody.
That feels like a bad dream, dude.
It was last year was a bad dream. No, Perry Kitchen is good. The fact that they have Servando Carrasco as well as a backup there is really good as well. So I like the fact that you can start Perry Kitchen and you can bring Carrasco in. You can bring in Joao Pedro and not make him be a defensive player.
How far down is Husidic in that depth now?
Well, it depends because he can play almost any of those midfield positions. So he could probably fit. He's two deep, 3 deep. Yeah.
Yeah, he's duct tape.
Which is great. I mean, which you might need. And that's good depth. I mean, the Galaxy are a very, very deep team, and that is something that they didn't have last year. So you have to be okay with it. And anybody mentioning Pato will get blocked from the chat room. I'm letting you know.
I heard he got a haircut in L.A.
Oh my God! I swear, the guy just because the guy can type 3 words to an LA Galaxy account on a social media account, everybody thinks he's coming to the LA. He's not coming. That's not happening. Stop it. All right, him and Jonah know each other. I really don't like the Pato stuff even a little bit. No, okay. So let's go to the final stuff that I wanted to get to before we get anywhere. Corner of the Galaxy T-shirts are now for sale. They just went up for sale today as we're recording.
Yeah, you would think that someone would kick down one for a founder.
No, you have to buy them. You want to buy one? What? I have to buy them? Do you think I'm going to pay you? I have to buy them. I know. It's the downside of not getting them printed like myself. It's it's actually a lot easier.
What about a good homie discount?
We'll see about scarves. When scarves come in, maybe I can hook you up. The scarves are on their way, and they're
scarf is California, man. It's hot.
No, you want a scarf? That's your Twitter handle is the scarf. You can redo it.
You see, I didn't even know how to use it.
Tell me about it. Anyway, CoG shirts. Go to bonfire.com, or of course, you can go to. I'll put a link in this podcast. I'll put a link basically anywhere on Twitter, on Facebook, any of those places. Go to bonfire.com. Type in CoG, and then you can get and order those shirts. I got 5 colors for you this time. All right, 5 colors. I don't know what else I can do. I also gave you something the LA Galaxy will never give you. I gave you 5.
Chocolates?
I gave you 5 stars. 5 stars on a crest. Now, granted, it's the Corner of the Galaxy crest, but you can walk around and point to 5 actual stars on a crest, unlike any jersey that you can buy.
So you as listeners, why don't you go to iTunes and give us 5 stars?
Oh, nice segue. Colors, navy blue. There's a charcoal that's like a black color. There's a light gray. There's a pink, which I've already ordered. I really am a fan of the pink. The pink looks sharp.
It goes great with boat shoes.
It goes wonderful with boat shoes. And then there's
like a blazer.
Oh my God! Why
you get that Miami Vice look?
You're like dressing me right now. This is how I'm going to show up. And then, of course, a white as well, and multiple sizes.
Try to find some acid wash jeans and really bring it together.
Let's see. What else do we have in terms of just different announcements? I'm trying to think of different things
Open
that
house?
we have to do. Open house, Corner of the Galaxy open house on February 17th. Are you going to try to come? You're going to try to come,
I'm going to try, dude. At first, I thought I was going to have to be a no-show. I have my big poker tournament for my birthday that day. If I can get free early, I'm going to try to get down there.
All right, good. This is good. So Jared should be here. Kevin should be here. Other co-hosts are possibly going to be here as well. 9 to 12. So 9 a.m. to 12 p.m. This is ahead of the LA Galaxy's February 17th match with the San Jose Earthquakes. That's the Orange County Great Park, which is just minutes from the studio here. So you can come by here, hang out. We should have the LA Galaxy Star Squad here.
Will you have a continental breakfast for me?
I think there's going to be donuts, coffee, and soft drinks. How about that?
I'll take it.
Okay, good. That works. You will be able to buy the Corner of the Galaxy scarf here at the studio. You'll be able to come and sit in the chair in the studio. You can pretend to be me. We can take pictures. Jared will sign anything you want. He loves signing man cleavage.
I love signing things in pairs.
I knew it was going there.
By the way, the donut, the official food of 2017 Galaxy, because it has a big hole in the middle.
That makes perfect sense. So anyway, that's the Corner of the Galaxy open house. There's going to be an auction, I believe, for an LA Galaxy signed jersey. I am going to go through all of my old kits that I have, all my old jerseys. I'm going to sell those all for the LA Galaxy Foundation as well. So I've reached out to all the co-hosts, so if they can make it, they're going to come. So you can be here, and there's going to be a Q&A session as well. Kevin Baxter and I will probably host that. Jared, you can get in on that as well, and we can tell you all the things that you want to know about the LA Galaxy, and we're always afraid to ask.
Feel free to ask questions from the old school, like how did Josh and I start?
Yes, we could do that. Absolutely. That's a sad day in podcasting history. But then, of course, the CoG scarves are coming on February 7th. That's the last thing I wanted to get there. There it is. That's sort of how I laid it out. I think that's it. Is there anything else, Jared, that we need to go over, or have we talked it to death already?
I think we've probably talked it to death. I probably have some takes on LAFC, but that can stay for another time.
You're just going to have to come back on the show whenever you get a free chance again.
Are you going to go to that first LAFC home game?
No, I don't think so.
I think I will. I think it's my duty as a Southern California soccer fan to do that.
To sort of see what it's about?
Yeah, I mean, listen, I think it's so important to support the culture and stuff like that, you know? So I think there's part of me that kind of will. I don't know. I'm thinking about it. I think it's almost like I feel obligated in a certain way.
Okay, housekeeping. Let me go over some housekeeping things real quick. You do not have to RSVP to come to the open house. Somebody's asking in the chat room. You do not have to. If you want to go on the Facebook page and say you're coming, though, that would help me out. I could get an idea of how many, 5 or 6 people are coming. That would be great. And then the other housekeeping thing that I saw in the chat room that I want to clear up about Zlatan and about the transfer window. Zlatan Ibrahimovic does not need to abide by the European transfer window that is going on right now. Only the window that is open in the place that you're coming to needs to be open.
Yeah, it always matters where you're going, not where you came from.
So, and in MLS, the window is open. He can come. Also, it's likely that Manchester United would release him from a contract. If they released him from the contract, he's out of contract and will not need to come in any window. So slap all your friends who tell you that Zlatan can't come till the summer. This deal still seems likely.
You really want people to smack people.
I'm very upset at a whole bunch of things, and I've decided that slapping people is the best way to get around that.
Man,
it is a civilized way. I mean, they did it back in the day with gloves.
Oh, you want to do it with a glove?
Yes,
okay,
I want
to. That's high class.
Yes, okay, good. I just wanted to make sure. All right.
Skin is for cretins.
All right. Everybody thinks that you're an LAFC fan now, Jared.
Oh my God!
Right?
You know what? I've been here long enough to remember when there was no team, and I was just a California soccer fan wishing for a team to start. So that's probably where this comes from to a certain extent.
Hey, it makes sense to me. I'm not going to question your LA Galaxy fanhood. That's not something I would.
I'm buying season tickets. I think it's kind of important to be part of soccer. Here's the thing: would you, if you could go to Atlanta's first game in their new stadium, would you have gone to it?
Yeah, absolutely.
Does that make you a traitor to LA?
I think that lots of people think I'm a traitor to LA, but no, in my mind, it doesn't.
I'm a soccer fan first. I wasn't Galaxy till I died because Galaxy didn't exist when I grew up. So is it my team? Yeah, it's my team. But I'll tell you right now, if there was a team in the Inland Empire opening next year, I'm switching because that is my home.
That's where I get it. And you don't have to explain yourself to me. I just wanted to let you know what they were saying about you in the chat room, so that way you could yell at them. You want to slap them? You can.
See what I'm pushing to, what I'm physically pointing towards them.
I understand. All right, that's it. We're done. I don't want to talk anymore. I have to go pack. I have to get on another airplane. I was just back. I don't even know what day it is. It's Thursday, but I don't know what it is. It's February 1st. I know that. So Jared, tell people where they can find you.
You can get me on the Twitter machine at JRodius, JRODIUS, and I do an occasional non-soccer pop culture show with my old partner Jason Davis from the Best Soccer Show, who's currently on SiriusXM doing SiriusXM FC United States of Soccer. But Slop Culture, you can find that on Twitter as well, at Slop Culture, or on iTunes.
All right, Jared, thanks for stopping by, buddy. I certainly appreciate it.
Love you, buddy.
All right. If you're looking for me on Twitter, at JGuesman, JGUESMAN, and of course at Galaxy Podcast, head on over to cornerofthegalaxy.com. Go to bonfire.com. Order our shirts. Please, order our shirts. It helps us pay bills here. Then I can keep doing this, and it'll be fun, all right? Let's see, cornerofthegalaxy.com, iTunes, Stitcher, all those places. That's it. Back on Monday with Mr. Kevin Baxter. For Mr. Jared DuBois, I'm Josh Guesman. You've been listening to Corner of the Galaxy on cornerofthegalaxy.com. Have a great one.
You've been listening to the Corner of the Galaxy podcast on cornerofthegalaxy.com. You can follow the show on Twitter and Instagram at Galaxy Podcast. And be sure to check out and subscribe to iTunes, Stitcher, and Facebook by searching for Corner of the Galaxy. And for all of your independent LA Galaxy news, discussion, and entertainment, including this podcast, head on over to cornerofthegalaxy.com. Fans, thanks for listening. We ask that you be kind and courteous to your neighbors as you leave the podcast. We thank you for joining us and look forward to seeing you again. Until then, I'm Michael Araujo, and on behalf of the entire Corner of the Galaxy crew, goodbye, everyone.